and gentlemen, all rise for the RankKing's court.
Bring on the battle, bring on the night, start up the engines, bring on the fight. In your tomorrow, it's all on the line. Deliver the sorrow, this is the time. You give it everything you've got. Yeah, tomorrow starts tonight. This is our time. Bring on the fight. It's do or die. Gonna bring you down. Unleash the fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another fun-filled episode of the RankKing's Court. We are all here. The crown is still attached, as you can see.
Super glued.
that's Super glued to the point of
Yeah,
where,
do you ever take that off?
Yeah, it gets tough at sometimes, man. You know, you kind of have to, like, yank it a little bit. But, yeah, it works a little
Can
bit.
you imagine how disgusting it probably is under that thing? Like, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the sides. No, you get in there. It's like scrubbing a car. It's all right.
Just scrubbing the car.
Well,
Scrubbing a car.
fine,
What's up,
fine
Roger?
oiled machine.
Oh, yeah.
Foreigners in the chat.
Oh, welcome, Foreigner. Always on time when not working. Very much appreciated, my friend. But yes, it's another day, another Coors down the road.
Damn
Coors
right.
PGH. Gotta love you guys. We got a guest at the time. You might have seen him back when we did another episode. He's here again. Please welcome my brother, Ian Moorhead. Ian, how we doing, bud?
What's going on, everybody? I am glad to be here, as always. Glad to be talking about Nintendo this evening. So,
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler, man.
man, they're here without seeing the social media posts? Oh, no.
Well, listen, man. Like, we go through a whole ordeal. We got a recap last week, and then Austin does his thing and introduces it.
No.
But first, where are we?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Two Beers Deep is live today from the... Sorry, not Two Beers Deep. RankKing's Court. I am really fucked up right now. Apologies on that. RankKing's Court is live today from Union Fitness Studios, located on the North Shore of Pittsburgh. Union Fitness is more than a traditional gym. It's a place where you can transform yourself inside and out. With a variety of classes based around fitness, yoga, strength, and performance training. At Union Fitness, they believe that it is their duty to hold themselves and their client to a higher standard. They practice what they preach and uphold the values that make Union Fitness the community that it is. Go to unionfitness.com today to sign up for a consultation through Union. There is strength. Perfect.
Except for, there he is.
Yeah, there he is.
Good job,
So we'll
Ian.
start off the show right now. Congratulations to one person. You were just gifted a subscription by the Rank King himself.
Sippy.
Sippy!
Congrats, Sippy, if you're watching.
Yeah. Sippy, congrats. I've been gifting a lot of subs. I
You're
don't
a
know
nice
what
guy.
it is. But
You're a nice
Hey.
guy.
You
I
know,
like to think so.
it's fall. It's gonna be getting colder soon out. He must be getting jolly when we think about it coming up soon. He's got the red already working on. He's clearly getting a vibe. I could tell right now.
Are you comparing me to one Chris Kringle, Greg?
I was comparing you to one Saint Nick. I don't know who Chris is.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, last week, let's jump into that. I enjoyed our conversation for what we did because last week was all about the munchies, all about a stoner-filled episode that was glorious in its own right. How did we feel about it, boys? I mean, I thought it was pretty well done considering that, one person wasn't here.
Well, I was gonna ask Vo, like, if you saw this on replay, like, did you relate to anything that was being talked about here, or did most of it just kind of go over your head?
Now, he did all that stuff outside, Greg. Remember,
did it
that's
outside,
true.
You did it outside. That makes sense. Yeah.
Pizza rolls are number one.
Okay.
I can't agree with that.
Okay.
I do love me some pizza rolls. Cheetos pretty good.
Mhm.
Oreos. Your top 10 is pretty good. I won't lie. I actually agree with this one.
Any outliers?
Pop-Tarts.
Yeah,
They're snack foods.
Are they microwaved or put into the?
I
that's
didn't
what I
want to
was
say
getting
it,
at.
but yeah, microwave Pop-Tarts.
Ian, I was gonna say, Ian, if you had to put that in perspective, is there one snack that you're thinking of in your head that we're like, oh man, I'm craving the munchies? Like, what's your go-to?
I feel like, usually it's candy, but I feel like in the case, like in your specific instance, what you're talking about, I feel like anything you can put in the microwave and be done in 3 minutes and ready to eat, it goes on the list. Doritos and Cheetos as well, also on the list. Doritos, glad to see them up real high on that one.
Yeah.
Pizza rolls,
Number one.
I get it. I get it. I
Yeah.
just can't eat them, so like I don't care about pizza rolls. I don't care like.
And
They've never hit as hard for me as like mozzarella sticks
yeah, those
or
are good too.
Here's something I will say about pizza rolls, though, which might be the only controversial thing, is that there is a lot of time that has to be done with it because, let's be real, I mean, oven pizza
Yeah.
rolls are better than
I was
microwave
gonna
pizza
answer
rolls.
Chip. Yeah, it
100%.
has
Yeah.
to be in the
Yeah,
oven.
100%.
No microwave pizza rolls.
Mm-hmm.
That was when I was
and
like 5.
and like I feel like for the case that you're speaking of, like the munchies, like you want to eat right away. And pizza rolls, you gotta wait. Like even after they're done out of the oven, you gotta let them sit there for a few minutes before you can actually put one in your mouth.
Nope. Be the average human being and just take it and bite it immediately, burn your mouth,
Did you ever
and then
do
it's
that?
fine afterwards.
It, like, squirted
Coagulation
out,
is
it
key.
Burnt my chest the one time. Just squirted out, burnt. It was
See,
so
burnt
bad.
your chest?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
sauce shot out.
Yeah.
It
Just
was rough.
imagining Vo just eating pizza rolls like off his chest and everything. And just,
I wasn't eating it off my chest. I was sitting there, squirted out. I had like
hey,
a.
you said
I had
it. But we got
I
a
had a
great
tank top
episode
on.
for you all today as we bring the subject of probably a thing that Ian and I enjoyed from a very young age. And we know that everyone else did too, which is why this makes such a great episode. All things Nintendo.
Now, was the biggest reason for this, was it because of a couple weeks ago when Nintendo kind of had their big, event talking about all the upcoming projects that they're dropping and all that? Did that kind of like spark your creative juices to be like, let's do something about Nintendo this week?
It did, Greg. I also I'm a big partisan guy to Smash Brothers. They announced Sakurai was the last DLC character in Super Smash. I'm very, very excited. I needed my Nintendo content. I just feel like we hardly talk about video games on here a lot, despite our creative outlook. I mean, we've really done Dead by Daylight, and I think that's about it.
Borderlands. Did you
Oh yeah,
forget
we
about
did
that one?
Borderlands too. I keep forgetting that because Denny was with us, but it's fine.
It's understandable.
Denny is forgettable.
It's
That's very
understandable.
accurate.
No, we love you, Denny. But yeah, Ian, big Nintendo guy yourself, correct? I mean, you got the Switch, you got Legend of Zelda all through and through. Like, tell us a little bit about your relationship with Nintendo.
Nintendo is the only gaming, I don't want to say console, but like gaming world that has been with me my whole life. A lot of the games that I grew up playing, like Crash Bandicoot and Dragon Ball Z, they've died off. The Nintendo games, Super Mario, Zelda, Kirby, even Banjo-Kazooie as well, they've all stayed. Even Banjo-Kazooie moved to Xbox 360. Yeah, Nintendo, I probably spent the most time on just their fluctuation of consoles throughout the years. You'll see on my list later that the Legend of Zelda and Mario hold a very high standard. They've always been a high standard. So yeah, I'm excited to dive deep into some Nintendo. I'm also excited to hear your takes on Nintendo because although it is something we did a lot, it's not something we talked about very much. So
True.
Interested to hear that.
That is true. And Greg, obviously, your relationship with Nintendo, I'm assuming it's high, right? You love this stuff. Vo, you as well, even though you took the game console outside and played it outside.
Yeah, right.
I was more PlayStation. That was my first console, so like Nintendo, I played at like friends' houses and things like that.
So I'm gonna be honest. Right now, like as I am as a fully functioning adult, I'm not a gamer. so it's not something that I partake in often. But when I was growing up, N64 was my go-to. So like me and my brother, like we would play N64 a lot when I was a kid. So there was a lot of like console games that I was used to growing up and stuff. So that's how I was introduced to like the fine world of Nintendo. What's something that I also appreciate about Nintendo in general is that as popular as PlayStation and Xbox games have gotten, obviously for various reasons, Nintendo still has kind of had that niche market that was able to like continue on with the cast of characters that they have, and yet they're still able to consistently produce good content even when you have these two behemoths in Sony and Microsoft that battle each other constantly for gaming supremacy. So it's a testament to how popular this system is, and it's a testament to how these characters have kind of lived on throughout from it.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because on Instagram we put out what I believe was my top 10 or getting ahead of myself, top Nintendo consoles. There's a lot of shit already in the chats and everything, but I get it.
Yeah, I was very surprised when I saw there was no N64 on this one, man.
I was shocked.
Yeah, that was it's tough, right? Because with all of the different ideologies that come along with Nintendo consoles and everything, I couldn't very well leave any of these off the list. You have GameCube, which was, I did believe, like we had NES before that, but and we had PlayStation, but the first console I ever bought was the GameCube. And I couldn't, like, it was, I bought that and Godzilla Destroy All Monsters, and I think it came with like a Wario package. So I couldn't leave that off just from nostalgia. The Nintendo DS holds a very good place in my heart just because of how well the double screen and everything worked. And I enjoyed playing Pokemon Diamond and Pearl on that immensely, as well as also playing the other Fire Red, Leaf Green, all that jazz in there as well. NES, like I said, the first console I think we ever had growing up, doing that whole thing, because I believe it was either our mom's or our dad's. I wasn't really sure.
Yeah, it was our mom's console. She used to work 7 to 7 as a nurse and come home and play Super Mario World 3 on the NES till it was time to get us up in the morning. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then I believe your favorite of the Nintendo consoles comes in at my number 2, which is the Switch.
It's not necessarily my favorite. It's just the best console to ever be created. I don't think anything that Microsoft or Sony will ever put out will be better and more functional than the Switch. You can play it at home. You can play it whether you're sitting on your couch, or you can hook it up to your TV. You can take it on an airplane and play it. I'll never forget the first month that it came out. I was on a plane watching some guy next to me play Breath of the Wild on the Switch, and I was like, this is the greatest console to ever exist, because it works in so many ways. Although it doesn't run people will say that it doesn't run like games like Fortnite well. No, it doesn't. It's not going to run a first-person shooter that's made for 120, 240 frames well on 30 frames. It's going to look like shit. But the games that are made for the Switch run perfectly on the Switch. But again, it's hard with Nintendo to rank the consoles because they're all so different. And it's not like we're ranking Xbox 360 versus Xbox One. We're ranking the 3DS, the DS, the N64, the NES, the Switch, the Wii.
Yeah, Game Boy original
Game Boy, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much. I mean, it is hard. I mean, I would put the Switch at 1. I would have the Wii at 2. And then I would probably put the N64 at 3. If I was making my own.
I get the Wii hype. I do. I was never a huge fan of it. I just wasn't.
You didn't like the Wii?
Why.
I think the Wii had its popularity at first just because it was the first console that you were able to
the
motion sensor. It was the big thing that got people excited for that.
Yeah, and then Microsoft, massive fucking company, tried to recreate it, and it was terrible on the Kinect. And that was years after the Wii was huge. And yeah, I mean, the Wii was big for a while, and then Nintendo used the the Wii U. Well, Fo, are you just laughing at
just laugh-
Wii?
I'm just laughing at Wii.
Okay.
Jesus.
The Wii-
And
the
then
Wii was
at
big
mine,
for a while.
We're children.
And-
Yes.
And
yes.
then at my number 1, I have the Super NES. I mean, there's just so much classic nostalgia that goes along with it. It is by far, when people think of Nintendo as a whole, not just now, it goes to the Super NES. That's just how it was. When people think of Nintendo now, it is 100% the Switch and nothing else. But I think if you're going through a whole process of how it made people feel, even to this day, I know people that still have the Super NES because they love it. So my number 1. Well, it is time, gentlemen, for us to get into our first radical ranking of the evening. As I swallow my last little bit of grapefruit Coors seltzer, fantastic seltzer, by the way.
Not the
I just wanna put
grapefruit.
that out.
Grapefruit's terrible.
I mean, it's the only one I had besides the mango, and the mango's finished. So
Oh.
we're getting the grapefruit. So
you're sticking to the bottom of the barrel, I see, huh?
a little bit. I mean,
Okay.
hey,
Even though all
still-
Coors seltzers are fantastic because we do
Yeah,
love
I
Coors.
I just don't like grapefruit.
That's fair.
flavors.
That's fair, but you can't hate the Coors seltzer because Coors puts out great products, as we all know.
Yeah, their grapefruit is the best grapefruit. That there is.
Exactly. Now that's a great way to spin it. Thank you. Shout out to Coors.
I know Ian's chuckling because literally anytime we hear the word grapefruit, we think back to the old days of Ric Flair in WWE where he hits you right in the grapefruits.
Woo!
Woo! Just wonderful.
You guys need
Anyway.
to grow up. You need to grow up.
Hey, shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up. Anyway, our first radical ranking. We heard Sakurai being the last DLC for Super Smash, but now I want to get to the people that weren't at it. What are the top characters that need to be in Super Smash?
Now, are we talking just for this game, or are we talking like guys that were never in any of the games previously?
I would just say none of the individuals
never
that
in the
weren't in any of the games.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
I don't recall any of these individuals being in any of the games. So
Do they have
Maybe
to
if
be
that's on-
Nintendo characters, or can it just be anybody?
that's the
Okay.
thing, is that Nintendo
Ooh.
invites other characters from different brands to come on to these games. So I threw a little bit of a monkey wrench in here for
Yeah.
you guys to see where this is going to go. Let's start off with number 5, Dante from Devil May Cry.
I was curious about this. So does this essentially, like with the Kingdom Hearts addition to this, did this kind of open up Pandora's box to that entire like that realm or games that are similar to it to be able to be introduced into Super Smash Brothers then?
Yeah, a little bit, Greg. I mean, it comes along for like the people that, like I said, there's different characters from multiple eras that are brought in. They're adding, I don't know if they added already, but they are adding Doom, Ian, to Smash. I don't know if they did already.
No idea.
So I assume that they are. But yeah, this one's kind of a toss-up because there are already so many sword characters in Smash, but I couldn't leave this guy off because he's been a front runner to be involved in a Super Smash game for years, and it just never seemed to happen.
Yeah.
And honestly, if I could look that cool with a sword and feel confident enough to show off my body, that belongs on here, man.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just saying.
400
Guys got
says-
confidence.
400 says the ranking should be the #1 character. So if you were a character,
that's-
what would your weapon be? Would it be the gavel?
Fuck, probably it would be the it'd be
gavel.
the gavel, and instead of like throwing, like, how Mario or Dr. Mario throw like a pill or a fireball, I think I throw my opinions.
Oh, there you go.
You know what?
They're
I
pretty
think that'd be
bad
good.
too. They're pretty bad.
Son of a bitch, he'd be like in the original Smash with the annoying hammer that's just like
I'm curious to see what if Vo was involved in Smash, what would he throw? I'm like wondering that.
Probably. I don't know. Probably the microphone.
No.
The producer mic.
I think he'd throw the
hockey
sun
stick.
cue
I'd have a
outside.
hockey stick.
Yeah, you
There
are
you
a
go.
goon, so that
Hockey
makes
stick.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our number 4. Denny, if you're watching, this one's for you. You and I talked about this game a lot already, but I literally would love if Claptrap from Borderlands was in Super Smash.
I remember this one. I remember
Like,
his name.
the most annoying robot that you can think of thrown into a world where he's meant to survive is absolutely hilarious. There's a lot of he was in the pre-sequel game, and his power, every Borderlands character has their ability. His power was like this module that randomized an ability. So you could be in a dire situation and press it, and it could like pull out an umbrella and you could fly away. Just something terrible, or it could be something really great, like you could be immune to anything, like invulnerable. But it's really just a roll of the dice character. And the more I think about it, I think this character resembles Denny in a very, very good sense.
So this is essentially the practical version of Metronome, is what you're saying.
I would say so. I mean, like, this is Denny's, the degenerate gambler. When you play as Claptrap, you gamble on his ability if it's going to work or not. So I think, which also in the movie, Jack Black is, I think, voicing him, which makes this 2 times, I think, that Jack Black is voicing iconic characters. Since we're talking about Nintendo, Jack Black also recently announced that he will voice Bowser in the upcoming Mario animated film. So dope as hell. I don't know what he's doing with his life that he can voice 2 iconic, animated characters, but I'm all for it, man.
Ian, any thoughts on the list so far?
These just are 2 like characters I just don't know of, so it's
Okay.
a little more difficult for me. I'll see.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah,
Shut
I mean,
up,
I
Bo.
just
Don't give excuses.
definitely not gonna put forth opinions on things I'm not aware of. So
We do
I,
that every week,
we
man.
still
Don't
do,
worry.
we
Yeah,
still do.
don't worry.
I
We
think
humor him.
well, if I had a list like this as well, I think a lot of my characters would have been subsidized by the new like Nickelodeon Brawl game, which is
Yeah, that
literally
looks
just Super
sweet.
Smash.
That'd be
Did
cool.
that come out yet?
I've been playing it a ton. It's super
Oh,
fun.
wow, I need to get that.
But like a lot of the characters from that, like those would have been. I feel like they need to get like a newer age of kids into it. Smash is like a lifelong game. You can just pull up and play at any time. And I feel like kids aren't playing Smash now. It's like the same. I don't know. I feel like it's just us again playing the newer Smash games and no kids. I feel like they need to get like things that kids are into involved in Smash to get kids back into it. But
They need to get like a franchise that is like popular nowadays to kind of be pushed into it, essentially.
They need my
Yeah.
FIFA player in there. He's like
Oh,
7 foot
what?
tall.
Vo's massive FIFA player. Just don't put Denny's FIFA player in
And
there. Useless.
I'll take a red card.
Well, honestly, these days, if you're gonna make Smash, I guess that kind of style, you probably want to put something Fortnite related, and I know people are gonna get pissed about that if that happens.
Right.
But
I mean, that's not a bad idea. I would hate that too, but that's not a bad idea.
oh, right, it's a good sense of marketing, but in terms of like our enjoyment, it's gonna be like, fuck, like why? Let's bring in a character, Edie, that I know you actually know a lot about, and that is number 3. Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, so Crash. I think just when people say like, oh, they want this character in Smash, the first thing that I think of is like, what moves would they use? Kind of like what you guys talked about earlier already with Austin and Bo. But yeah, like Crash should do the spin. I mean, he could jump and slam his body down. I mean, he could basically do anything. I think that I do think that Crash, while a retro character, is another good add-on to the Smash scene. Being that he's already kind of using fighting maneuvers in game, it's real easy to make a move set for him. There's not too much innovation there, I don't think. But yeah, I think he's a good add. So I like that pick.
You put it in also. I mean, there's multitudes of things that you could do with this. Throw in a little bit of whatever Coco can provide technical wise, and then magic wise, you have the mass of Aku Aku to put in there as well, which I love the fact that he was voiced by the guy that did the Grim Reaper from Billy and Maddie. Like that was
Wait,
awesome.
seriously?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they I don't know if he was the original. I don't know if he was the original guy that did it, but I know later that that voice actor picked up the role of Aku Aku that did the Grim Reaper in Adventures.
That's
nice.
pretty cool.
Hey, Austin,
So-
we got a subscriber here, Miss Morgan Marie.
Hey,
Subscribed at tier 1 for 3 months.
3.
woo!
Never-
Woo-wee.
Going in
No
it,
idea who that is.
going in until the new year. We appreciate the love.
Yeah.
We do, which I know that she does exist now because I saw her
We
at the
did meet her,
concert. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they became best friends that night. They bonded over Dance Gavin Dance.
great show.
It was a great show. I did like it. I will admit that.
Let's go with again, going on our number 2. We say that there's individuals that people love in these games that want to put them in. What about one of the greatest shooters of all time that graced the video game scene? Number 2, Master Chief from Halo.
I don't really know too much about this one.
All I know is shooters are gonna shoot.
Are you guys
Yeah,
serious?
I think.
Are you guys fucking serious?
I'm
You
not.
don't know Master Chief?
I know.
No, I mean, I know of him.
I
but
know
don't
of him. Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm
anything
not gonna
about
say
him.
like I'm not gonna say like I disagree. This is one that I could never see happening because I just feel like they stay away from like adult-centered games. And like Halo is rated M and like Master Chief is like the star of Halo. I just feel like they're never gonna put someone from like Halo or COD or I don't know if Borderlands is Borderlands rated M.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even that one too. Like I just struggle to see them putting someone from a game where you should be 17 years or older to play into a game that is supposed to be for kids. And that they may have already done that. I don't think so, but yeah, that I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad pick. I feel like again, he would have a cool move set, but that's one that I see as like more of a probably not.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends, right? Like I said, because they were, as far as I'm aware, that the main character from Doom is in the game. Snake, even though it wasn't like a game that was rated M, has a very like censored kind of kill style move set around that. So that's kind of where I'm leaning towards with this. And I know we say that kids play these games a lot, but you think about it, there are tons of adults in tournaments that have played video games for years that have been clamoring for Master Chief to be involved, just because when it comes to video games, he is one of the, if not the OG shooter. I mean, that's just how it is. When people thought of Xbox for years, they only could scream Master Chief. That's literally what it was. So
No, they were screaming Viva Pinata, and you know it.
one of the original, I think, games that we got with that. So, yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with it. I think that he would have a good move set with just the amount of like, I mean, you could tone down the weapons. So obviously it's not like it's just blowing people up, just like a normal set with plasma grenades and the swords and everything. I don't know. Something about this just makes me scream that Master Chief would be involved. But you know what? Who wasn't involved?
Who
You wanna know
wasn't
who my
involved?
You want to know who my number 1 is?
Scooby-Doo.
That should have been in this goddamn game.
Tell us who your number 1
SpongeBob.
should have been, you angry king.
I got to do this just because I'm cracking another course and I'm drinking a little bit of it, most of it right now, because of how frustrated I am at this. Because number 1,
Why are you frustrated?
Waluigi.
Wait, he's not in Smash?
No, it's been an ongoing meme for like years that he's still
Pissing
not in
me
the
off.
game.
Is it like a running joke or something? Like that's why the
At
developers
this
aren't
point,
putting him in?
basically,
Or?
yeah, that like, I mean, he's got to be up there in like popularity among Mario characters, and they're just adding like whoever the fuck into the game instead of him at this point.
It's pissing me off. Like I get, but take it from this. Anytime that Ian and I ever play a Mario censored game, Waluigi is my number 1 that I go to every single time. And I just love the style of it. I mean, the only reason that he was even added into Mario, I get it, was because of the fact that it was Mario and Luigi and only Wario. And then they needed someone to complement that. But Waluigi is 100%, I would argue, even better than Wario.
Huh.
in
So
most sets.
so very tall, evil mustache,
Devious. Very
devious
devious.
mustache, big honker for a nose. It's kind of like the opposite of you, Moorhead.
I can
They
see
do say
it.
that opposites attract.
Yeah, so I
You
want
should
that
grow a
makes
mustache like that. For
I
sure.
I don't know if he. Oh, dude, hey, we're doing Movember next month, so
Yes.
yeah, you might as well try to go for the pencil stash now.
Shout out
So
to
it mean-
Morgan for the 3 gifted tiers.
Yeah.
Subscriptions
Ooh,
there.
thank you, Morgan.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
much appreciated.
Big shout out to Doritos Locos Tacos, Slow Pound.
and Metalhead Moro.
Yeah, all of them are getting some
Wow.
tier
Yeah.
3
Four-
tier
Forger
1
said-
subs.
Forger said, when
Congratulations.
isn't Austin mad?
When is when?
When isn't
I mean,
Austin
yeah,
mad?
he's right.
He's
He's
mad.
right.
Mad
I
all
mean,
the
He is
time.
the Mad King. Now that I think about it,
The Mad King. I like
the
it.
Mad King.
That would be your name
But-
if you're
The-
what's his name? Waluigi.
So I mean, the big reason for this, guys, Ian and I, he'll tell you constantly, anytime that we're available to, we will play Mario Baseball because it is literally the one game that him and I can play that you don't know who's going to win at the end. Like it is very much, it can go to like the 13th inning and there not be a single run scored. Like we are that good at it. And yes, if you're thinking about this, Waluigi is 100% always my pitcher because he resembles literally, my gosh, wow, baseball guy, Greg, Randy.
Randy
Oh,
Johnson.
I was gonna say
Randy
Raleigh
Johnson.
Fingers.
Thank you.
Oh, Raleigh Fingers too. That's actually
Yeah,
pretty
the
good.
mustache.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, tall, I mean, Randy Johnson had a big nose too. So, I mean, it helps. I mean, like this,
You're not wrong. Yeah.
but yeah, he was 100% always my pitcher, always my team captain. And I build it off of that. I know it's a running meme, but like, this is something that fans have been clamoring. When I say clamoring, I mean clamoring for years, even before like the Master Chief thing. I mean, this has gone on for how long? And they're just like, fuck you. We're not doing it.
The frustration seems very real, especially on your part, Bud, because you're heated.
It's not just on me. Believe me, if you go on anything that says, why isn't Waluigi in Smash?
That's
There'll
crazy.
be hundreds
Like,
of videos.
I never would have thought that.
I would have thought for sure. Yeah. He's in Mario Tennis for God's sake.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Ian, do you have anything to add?
Oh, I mean, I just think it's funny at this point. I mean, if they added him in the game, it's not like he would change the game overall. So I feel like at this point, they're just never going to put him in.
They're just trolling everybody right
Which
now.
is
Yeah, and
hilarious.
if they do, it'll be like years down the road when like Smash just like not like Smash, but this specific Smash just like dying off, and they're like, yeah, let's add him in, get some people back
Yeah.
into the game.
Ping writes in the comments he was only in Mario Tennis to be Wario's partner. That's literally it.
he's the goddamn best, and he should be respected.
He
as
is pretty good.
such.
He is pretty good in the newest Mario Tennis. He is pretty good in that game.
But yep, those are the people that I think should be added. We should put out something, Vo, to see like who the fans would want added into Smash. Maybe that's something we do down the road after this episode. I think that'd be an interesting pull in for votes. Let's move on to our second radical ranking, ladies and gentlemen. If you've watched this show for how long, then you know I have a very big obsession with villains.
Which we clearly learned that your brother does not.
It all depends. I mean, I, for one, believe that a good villain makes every part of the story so much better. Builds off the criteria of the game, movie, show, whatever the hell it is. I mean, take, for instance, Breaking Bad. That show was great, but then they added Gus, and he took that show from a 10 out of 10 to an 11 out of 10. Like, there are times where villains do well. Could argue the same thing with Black Panther and Killmonger. That villain was amazing, and it took that movie to a whole new level because he was a villain for all the right reasons.
Greatest MCU villain ever. Can't even touch
Exactly.
it. Can't touch it.
So today we're going to talk our top Nintendo villains. There's quite a little bit on here. I get that there's going to be a big branch in between some of these, and some of them are like, well, that person should be on there. Well, that person should be on there. Are you wearing the fucking crown? No.
They could be.
They
could have
very
one.
well
could be.
could be, yeah.
It
don't
could
know.
be. You know,
Although
all you have to do is
theirs is definitely not going to be like stuck to their head. Unlike some people, they probably take it off, wash their head and stuff like that. But
That's
we
true.
could digress on that one.
That's true. You know, one of them little power, like circle power wash things. Yeah, that just goes on here sometimes. But we're going to talk right into this with our number 5, Dark Samus.
Samus.
He
It's
looks pretty
liter-
sweet. Looks legit.
Well, I will say, Vo, I mean, it's hard to tell, but it is a girl.
Oh.
So
She
that's just one thing. It's nothing against
That
you, 'cause I know,
blew my mind when that realization was made to me.
right?
Did not know
Because
that.
honestly,
Yeah.
like when I'm playing this game growing up and everything with Metroid, I really thought like, holy shit, like this dude's awesome. And
I thought the same
It's
when I
not
was
a
playing
dude.
Smash. Yes.
Yeah, I was like, it's not a dude. It's not a dude. Still awesome. Literally the polar opposite of Samus in herself. Like she in the super, like I know for a fact she's a big part of like the latest Smash game, and it's awesome. Just her moveset is great. And the great thing about villains in some points are the credibilities in where they stand. You know, a lot of villains will be the polar opposite, like this one. But Dark Samus has the ability to enhance all of the same abilities just for the wrong reasons. And I think that's incredible. You know, we talk about villains all the time. Spider-Man and the Green Goblin, total polar opposites. Batman and the Joker, total polar opposites. Samus and Dark Samus are literally one and the same. It's just that one is good and one is evil.
It's literally
that's
Flash
where
and
I-
Reverse Flash, basically.
Exactly. Like, and that was a comparison I was going to make, Greg. But yes, I know how much of a Flash fan you are, so I couldn't leave that out there.
Thank
so,
you, kind sir.
But yeah, I love her. I love her abilities. Let's move on to number 4. Another Metroid villain, Ridley. I mean, just badass in its own right. I mean, a giant fucking evil pterodactyl. I mean, like, where can you go wrong?
I was gonna say Calvin Ridley is kind of also a villain at some points too, but
Yeah.
that's a different Ridley, obviously. But yeah,
They're distant cousins.
they're distant cousins.
Distant
Yeah, makes sense.
cousins.
Makes sense.
I don't know if there is. I don't know if the resemblance that I fuck you. But yes,
They both
Ridley
have
in
big
its own-
wingspans.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah.
Yeah,
fuck you
yeah,
too.
exactly.
Yeah, you're wrong.
But yes, Ridley by far the main villain in the Metroid games to Samus was clamoring. I guess I keep using that word, but it's the same thing. You
It's
know?
the word of the day.
Fans were wondering, you know, in Smash, like when was Ridley gonna get added in, and it was a big thing, you know, to a lot of people, and they finally kind of caved. They won't cave on the Waluigi, but they'll cave on fucking Ridley. But overall, the character design is incredible. I loved like playing Metroid. Like when I was a little bit, like I didn't play it when I was really young, but I played it when I was a little bit older in my age. But still, great game, great villain. Any comments on any of this so far, guys? I know that I'm going a little fast.
Yeah,
today, but-
Ian, what do you have to say for his first
I-
two so far?
I think like what the biggest criteria for a villain is like, do you know, like, for someone who doesn't, I've never played Metro. I know who Samus is and Dark Samus as well, and Ridley, but have never played Metroid. So just the fact that I know who they are
Yeah.
is a big deal. I mean, I'm sure everyone will know who the top 3 are when the Rank King reveals them. But that's another thing too, is are you aware of them even though you've never played the game or seen the show or seen the movie? I think that's like a big criteria when you do villains and characters. So yeah, I've never played the game, so I don't know, like, you know, kind of like what they've done,
Mhm.
but just knowing their names is, I think, a big deal.
Yeah. They look like
but
villains
yeah,
too.
I'm interested to hear this top 3 though.
Trust us, it's probably gonna be controversial.
Oh no,
yeah.
never.
Yeah,
Never.
yeah.
damn right it's going to be controversial because at number 3, possibly people's number 1 in terms of Nintendo villains. But number 3 is one Bowser.
I was waiting for
I
that.
was hoping that
Yeah.
was gonna happen.
I honestly,
I know.
before Ian goes into it, I honestly thought for sure he'd be number 1 just based off of like notoriety and stuff. But Ian, go ahead.
He just is he's the villain. He is Nintendo villain. He is possibly even just gaming villain. I mean, he is the epitome of what a villain is. He just does something at the beginning of the game, makes you chase after him the whole freaking time. And he is the face of Nintendo. I mean, Mario is the face of Nintendo, but the villain face of Nintendo is and forever always will be Bowser. Not being number 1 to me is insane. I just can't see a world where he's not the number 1 Nintendo villain. Not only just like in Super Mario games, but he hits the nail on the head in every game. He's the villain in Mario Party. He's the villain in Mario Superstar Baseball.
He's the villain in Paper Mario.
Paper Mario, Smash. I mean, he's good in Smash. He's been in. I think he was in Smash 64, right? Or no,
Yes,
just Melee.
I think he was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he. I think he's the only villain then in Smash, the original Smash. So yeah, I don't know.
Here's my theory of it. I believe that Bowser is solely popular based on just Mario. And I know what you're saying, that he's getting into all these different things, but when you're talking about the games, you're listing all games that are Mario based. So, and you say Smash, I mean, he's good in Smash, but he's just another character. I mean, there's a lot that goes into then without just putting a name on it for how successful a villain is based on the concept of how well the Mario games do. I mean, to me, it's kind of weak in a reality sense because, I mean, the dude gets beat by a plumber stepping on turtles and Goombas. So
Yeah, well, that's just the way they made the game.
I'm just fucking throwing it out there. That's what it is. I mean,
okay, well then let's hear number 2 and number 1 then, because I guarantee they haven't had a game made after them.
Hold on, because I want to get Vo and Greg's opinions on this, because I know you're already heated. So I know that when we talk about Nintendo, yes, that Mario is the face. And I just want to put it out that just because he's the face doesn't make Bowser the face in the villainous category, because to me, that's not the case. So what are your thoughts, gentlemen, on Bowser being at 3? I know Greg said he already thought he would have been 1.
I thought he'd be 1 just because kind of I fall in the same line as Ian, where like if Mario is the face of Nintendo, the fact that Bowser should be the face of villainy then, because he's literally the villain in every single Mario game. So based off of that, in terms of notoriety, like I feel like he deserves it. And also, the thing you don't even mention this too, I don't recall there ever being any type of game where there's any type of redeeming quality about Bowser either. Like Bowser's just a dick.
He's just evil.
He's
all the time.
yeah, that's it. There's no redeeming quality
evil
about
runs
him.
through his blood,
So yeah,
his veins.
He's a bad father too. Let's just throw that
poor
out there.
baby Bowser. Yeah.
Vo, any opinion?
I agree. I know him. Wasn't like I said, I didn't play the games that much. So.
I'm the same as Ian. I'm intrigued to see who your top 2 are then.
Well, then let's get to number 2 and one of Ian's, I would say Ian's favorite game. I would correct me if I'm wrong on this, but of all time, the villain of that game, number 2, Ganondorf.
Yeah, see, I don't know this.
Yeah,
one.
I mean, he's in the right spot at number 2. Your number 3 is wrong. And 1 in turn is also wrong. So yeah, I mean, he's the number 2 villain. While he's not the main villain in every Zelda game, to some people's dismay, because they don't know that. Yeah, he is. He's the villain in every big Zelda game, whether he's in beast form or human form. Yeah, he's fantastic in every sense of the way. And I'm sure we'll talk about him later when we get to our next ranking. But yeah, I agree with where he's placed at. So
I mean, let's think of it this way. If you put Ganondorf one-on-one against Bowser, who wins? It's 100% Ganondorf.
yeah, but that's not what we're doing.
In a sense of being, just because Bowser has the ability of knowing the realm of Mario, I'm saying that one-on-one in terms of being a villain, Ganondorf easily takes that spot at crushing Bowser.
400 said
The two compared are
he'd be
Go ahead.
400's number one.
400 says that Ganondorf should be number one.
Yeah, that'd be his number one.
I would have
well-
no. I think I could understand that as well. I think depending on what you played growing up, like if you were an Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker and Twilight Princess kind of guy, like I understand only and no Mario. I would get putting Ganondorf at number one. Also, I mean, he is badass, so putting him at number one as well is just based on pure badassery is also totally fine.
Well, Austin, that leaves us to your number one.
One that a lot of people seem to brush off, and I will explain why this particular villain is so deadly that he has to be number one. And number one is Gygas. In
I
case
genuinely
you-
have no idea who this is.
Me either. Yeah.
Me either.
I understand. So Gygas actually comes from the Mother or the Earthbound series. But let me just read off to you why, because he's like kind of in certain games, Greg, for a Pokemon fanatic, though, again, you were outside, so chime into someone you can, but
Okay.
still. I mean, Gygas essentially looks like a very evil Mewtwo. Like very more than Mewtwo was at the beginning of his phase. Like evil alien.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see it.
I
now.
know the picture is frightening. It very much is. But let me just read off to you
Okay.
some powers and abilities that this guy, this alien has. Okay. So he can manipulate actual life. Right? Actual fucking life. He can bring things to life. Like it says, gives life to an animate object such as lamp and the doll from the prologue of Mother. So basing on that alone, anything that is not with life, he can manipulate and give it life already. That's number one. Number two, he can resurrect the fucking dead.
So best of both worlds.
So can Bowser. He's got dry bones.
Bullshit.
Overruled.
How well does dry
Overruled.
you have a heart of dry bones that's alone just on baseball enough. But yes, resurrection is huge with this. And also, let's not argue, Gygas is literally the entity of evil itself. What I want to put up there, as I burp, he can
all the course.
influence. I'm gonna do it every time you say something, Navo.
Boy, that was sexy.
I love it. He has the ability to turn people on one another. He has the ability, kind of like Greg, if we're going in a sense of talking about this, let's put this in retrospective that he has a little bit of Bobbity in him, that he can sense the evil a little bit within people and turn them completely to the
Wow.
point where they are no longer heroes at all. And I'm pretty sure they don't even need evil in this for him to turn. He could just do it. So
Okay.
there's a lot of strength in here. And also, he can manipulate energy. All of these quantities alone, there's no fucking way.
Austin,
that
how exactly do you beat this guy? Just out of curiosity.
Exactly.
Don't.
Right?
Austin has never beat him.
Ever have. The abilities of this guy, of this entity alone, make him 100% the number one Nintendo villain. And throw it against Ganondorf, Ganondorf loses. Throw him against Bowser Bowser loses. Throw him against any of the fucking other names that are in Nintendo, they lose. This alien is legitimately a force to be reckoned with. And I know a lot of people have not heard of it. And they should. They really should. Because Gygus is the #1 Nintendo villain.
Ian, any comments on your part?
No, I just move on.
Sticking with Bowser.
Playing at his heartstrings right now. That's the thing.
I'm gonna
I
edit
know.
that so you say Bowser is the #1.
I like that. I like that.
I mean, yeah, he is.
We'll
Yeah,
fix. We'll
Bowser
fix
is
that.
#1.
We'll fix that. Yeah.
Hi. So, as I know, Grind Project comments, who? Grind Project, stay tuned. You know your role. I was going to say you know your role and now shut up, but I'm not going to be that harsh to him because he's a lifelong
Yeah, he
fan of
can't
us.
shut up. He has technically a job to do in a second.
So, let us get to the great debate. All right, gang. Here's what we're doing. You are drafting your Nintendo team. So all Nintendo characters are on the place right now. Though there's normally 5 or 6 that go into this. 5?
Usually 5.
Yeah, we'll do
All
5.
right, we'll do
5.
5. So 5 Nintendo characters per
Forns
piece.
is on his game right now.
Oh, was he already in? He must know.
Yeah, he
He
said.
received orders.
He said Ian, Greg, Vo, Austin.
All right, that's fine. I haven't been last in a long time, so.
Oh wait, I have first pick.
Yes,
Yeah,
you do.
Yeah.
Ian, you got first pick.
Nintendo team, Ian.
Would it
Who-
like just to stand there and look cool?
Essentially, yeah.
Are we
Just
playing basketball?
Let's
what are we doing?
pretend that all our Nintendo teams are fighting each other.
yeah. Okay, we'll
Okay.
do that.
Okay.
Well, I'll go #1 Link. He has the Triforce, so. It's a pretty
Interesting
easy
that you
one.
say that Mario is the face of Nintendo, but you don't draft him first. So that's interesting.
He still is the face of Nintendo. I don't.
just
He has like
saying.
He didn't want him on
7,000.
his
I'm just
team.
putting it out there.
Just because he's the face of Nintendo doesn't mean he's the best fighter.
I mean, I know why he selected Link. I know
Mm-hmm.
because you know his heart belongs in like the Legend of Zelda, which I don't
Mhm.
hate. You know, go to where you go. So, Link, #1 overall
Off the
pick.
board. Greg, you're up.
I want Samus.
Dark Samus.
Nah, normal Samus. Badass.
All right. That.
Keep in mind, this is not a snake draft, so we'll go back to the
Oh,
#1
now he
after
makes
I'm
it.
finished.
Now he makes the rules.
All right.
Literally, we've fucking done that for how long, Bo?
Yeah. All right, Bo, you're up.
I'm
Damn it.
gonna go with Donkey Kong first pick.
I like that.
Thanks, Greg. I must put Donkey King.
The Donkey King.
Donkey King. All right, ranking. You're up.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna put this into perspective. He has all the abilities. I'm not gonna pick him though, because we're talking about in a sense of fighting here. So then give me the best Nintendo, I think one of the best Nintendo villains fighting. I'm going with Ganondorf as my pick.
Okay.
I was fully prepared for you to say Bowser.
Me too. That would have been hilarious. All right, Ian, you're up
So
for your
we have
second.
our first round. Ian is up for his second pick.
I will be taking. I can't help but think of this in the realm of Smash because we're talking about fighting and we're talking about Nintendo characters. So I'm taking Fox because he is by far
that's
the
cool.
best Smash character to ever be created. So he will be my #2.
It's a
If
good
you guys
pick.
have never seen, there's a video of someone. I don't know if it's from a tournament or whatever, but it's someone. The two guys are fighting, and one guy is Fox, another guy that I won't mention, so that we will be able to draft him if we so choose. But they are by far like polar opposites, back neck and neck. So the amount of skill and everything that they did in that fight. After this, I'll tell you guys to go watch it, and your jaw will drop because it's just so crazy. But yeah, Fox at #1 for the second round for Ian. Let's go.
My second one is going to be someone that, again, go back to Smash is someone that I loved playing as, and also someone I didn't like going up against. Give me Kirby.
Kirby.
Ooh. That's an interesting pick, Greg. I know because you absorb the abilities, but like I never really
It's the block
Like-
power, man.
is it more or less hatred of playing Kirby? Or are you like, oh shit, I'm playing Kirby? Like
More kind of like hatred
More
of playing
hatred.
as Kirby, I'd say.
Let's say
Like,
that
the
if you're
the swallow part is a little annoying at times, but aside from that, like you could fuck people up very easily with the block if you time it just rightly too.
I know for a fact, like at least for me, when I go up against people in Smash, I'm like, fuck, I gotta face a Kirby. God damn it! Like it's not like I'm dreading it. It's more or less like, damn it, like I wanted like a better like kind of challenge. I don't hate the pick, Greg. I love it just based on the ability of a Ditto per se for Pokemon to copy shit. I love that. But yeah, Kirby for your second pick. Vo, what do you got?
I'm actually gonna go with Bowser. We're going with the big, strong guys on my team.
I like it.
All right, which leaves me in a predicament now. Because
Oh, you're gonna take him, weren't you?
No, I'm gonna take a guy. It's kind of weird, but it kind of has the same move set, and I loved playing. People talk about the time that plays this character. They're like, oh, it kind of sucks. Shut up. For mine, I'm going to go with my number 2, Captain Falcon.
Oh, that's all I was gonna take. That was a good pick.
I mean, it's kind of like I said, both Ganondorf and Captain Falcon movesets very like similar in a sense.
They're the same. They're literally the same thing.
They base them off of each other. But I think when you're talking about that, you want one leader good and one leader evil to balance that out. So yeah, I'll take Falcon for my second pick.
It's a good pick.
All right, Ian, you're up for your third.
I'm taking Pikachu.
I like that. That's good. I was hoping he would go up in like the last rounds, but that was solid.
He's got too much speed. I literally cannot. As we're doing this, like I just keep picturing the Super Smash Melee like tier list for like pro players. That's all I'm picking from.
All right, Greg.
This one's more as a shout out to a good friend of mine, Big Dave, who loves this guy. Give me Yoshi.
He does like Yoshi.
He loves Yoshi. Every time we play Smash, every time we play Mario Kart, every time we play Party, he always has to be Yoshi.
So this goes along story time real quick because Ian's friend, Trent, was it?
Yep.
Trent would always be Yoshi, and he would wait until he would be on the edge, and he would just swallow and poop you out, and then you'd be done.
Oh,
And
it's
it was
annoying.
so-
It's annoying, but it's
That's the only
hilarious.
That's his only thing. That's like all he does.
But it's
Just sit on the edge.
But it's hilarious though if you can actually like exploit it.
Yeah, if
Alright.
you don't have a range attack, yeah, you got nothing against that.
All right, Vo, what do you got?
Let's go with Mr. Nintendo himself, Mario.
Okay.
I was wondering when he was going to get picked. I was hoping he would make it back to me, but I get it.
You get it. He likes my team better anyway.
Fuck out of here. All right. Oh, we're thinking. You know what? I love the aspect of him. I think he could be a great addition to my team. So I will take Ridley here. He's got strength. He's got speed. He's got wingspan. Whole package. Maybe not a lot of brains at sometimes, but you don't need that when you got someone commanding you to do stuff. So give me Ridley.
All right.
I like that pick.
Yeah. Ian, you're up for 4.
Is this our last one, or we have one more?
We got
still?
2. We got 2 more.
2 more.
2 more. Okay. I'm going back to my roots. I'm taking Zelda. Not only is Zelda solid, but she can turn into Sheik, and Sheik is better than basically most of the characters in the entire game. So
I like it.
it's all about speed.
I am going with the greatest Pokemon ever man-made. Give me Mewtwo.
How's that going to work? Is he going to be the leader though, Greg, or is someone going to give him orders? Because the last
we'll figure
time
it out. We'll figure it out.
The last time someone gave him orders, he wasn't too happy about it. So.
We'll make that determination. So I have nothing wrong.
We'll cross that bridge.
Exactly. I have nothing wrong with Mewtwo delegating. There's nothing wrong with that. Samus will be okay to listen to the great, powerful Mewtwo.
Hey, Gabby. Okay, bye.
All right, Bo, you're up.
I'm gonna go with King K. Rool.
Oh,
King K. Rool.
Oh, damn. That's going to be interesting knowing that Donkey Kong and him are on the same team.
They gotta work together.
Those
It's like
team-
me and Greg.
those
We have to
teams
work
massive.
together.
That's
sometimes.
true. It's a great way to put it, actually.
You got a lot of weight to your team, Bo.
I'm going heavyweight.
I will say.
Heavyweights.
Big boys.
Surrounding Mario.
Damn.
He's like his
All right.
bodyguard.
It's not going to be a popular pick, but I don't care. I enjoyed playing as this character so much. And I know Ian's going to roll his eyes whenever I say his name, but give me the master of the PK Fire. Give me Ness.
Oh,
I was
Ness,
thinking
dude.
about taking him too.
yeah.
I love playing as him. I know a lot of people get frustrated like when they're either playing him or playing against him because, you know, half the time that someone plays Smash or something, someone will just spam the fire move like over and over again and just, but that's not how I play. I incorporate all the elements in this. But yeah, Ness at my number 4.
Way to be different, bud.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Ian, finish this up. What do you got?
All right, I'm taking Dr. Mario as my last pick.
Dr. Mario.
All right.
Prescriptions in need. There you go. Could argue that he's a pill pusher in a sense.
Realistically, yeah, you can. For my last one, I think it would be rude if we didn't pick him at least. Give me Luigi.
Gotta have him. I mean, like, he might be scared of ghosts, like, you know, Sam Darnold, but doesn't really matter. I mean, he is
Thankfully,
a good number 2 to have.
Thankfully, Mewtwo is not a ghost Pokemon, so we're okay.
It's very true.
Mm-hmm. Worked out very well.
All right.
All right, Vo,
So
your
for
last pick.
my last pick, we're gonna go a little smaller with all the big guys surrounding him, and we're gonna go with Jigglypuff.
Ah. Make sure you get them earplugs.
I was gonna say, yeah. It's a weird pick, Vo, but I don't hate it.
It was just thrown in there. It's gonna be that or Ness. Those are the last two I had.
Okay. Then I can't end this without, you know, I gotta pick him just because I always do. I normally pick him first, but I know that nobody would have picked him, so I gotta pick him last. Waluigi.
I was hoping.
At my number
I was
5.
hoping he
At
would
my
go.
number 5, dude.
I was
By
hoping he would go.
far. Steal of the draft. Let's go.
I actually thought about taking him with my
I
last
should
one.
have taken him.
Yeah.
You would have been so
I was
mad if
I was
took him.
wondering if one of you cucks was gonna.
I
fuck
thought-
up.
I thought you were gonna forget about him.
I kind of
I
want.
never can.
I kind of wanted him to get undrafted, and then we could have pointed out, being like, "See, no one actually wants him."
Yeah. See.
Yeah.
Not in my case. Again, we'll put these on social media. You'll vote who has the best team. I'd say right now we all have a shot. So, you know,
Pretty.
depending on if, yeah, I would say so. You know, despite the Jigglypuff pick. All right, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with our top 10 ranking of the evening.
Let's dive right into sports, as I have strong opinions on that. Which college team could beat a professional team in the same sport right now?
Okay.
There is not a single answer that is better than the LSU Tigers defeating the Cincinnati Bengals.
Even if I know the pitch that's coming, every other part of me is still normal.
That's why it's frustrating for me, Greg.
It's like okay, if I know what something is coming, I know ahead of time. I still have to be able to do the action to get the result that I need.
Okay, so they won 3 games in 10 years with 3 rebuilds.
I don't lose at arguments. All right.
Especially about fast food. So yeah.
You will never walk alone. Guess what? Now you will. Coronavirus.
I barely touch my girlfriend's cat. The most I'd be willing to do is like just kind of put my finger on its forehead and just like.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, with us is Alex Kazor from Steelers Depot.
We are live with Ryan Smith, professional cornhole player in the ACL. Ryan,
what all franchises were you able to work with in the NHL?
With Phoenix, Carolina, and Detroit.
So here is Moorhead's ranking. Moorhead is my cousin. He is the rank king. Top 10 extra Power Rangers.
Oh.
Okay.
This is the top 10 emo songs of the 2000s.
There's only one correct answer for number one. Why is F is for Family better than Futurama when Futurama is like Star Wars for potheads? Like
I know. So I think
we have one or two that are mad in the chat.
You're welcome for that.
All right, we're gonna get banned.
Okay, guys, welcome back from your general commercial break. We are talking right now of the top 10 N64 games. I realize that the N64 wasn't included.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how you didn't have that
Yeah,
on that
explain this to me.
Actually, Elsas comment on the Instagram photo and said he's screaming right now when he was looking at
Yeah, this is some bullshit. No, N64 didn't make your top 5 consoles, but yet we're going top 10 N64 games.
It was number 6. It was number 6.
Oh,
Hey, Austin,
okay.
did you see Forange's comment?
I did not.
He said, "Hey, Austin, in case you didn't see it, ... Vo won the debate."
That's not what
He
he
picks
said.
you every
No,
fucking
it
time.
said-
That's just bias.
He said Ian won the debate.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It wasn't Austin, so that's fine.
Thanks, Foranger.
Whatever. I still love you, but whatever. Yeah, we're gonna get into the top 10 N64 games to kick this off, guys. Greg, I know you say you weren't a master of Nintendo, but you loved N64.
N64 was what I grew up with. Yeah.
So we got a lot of talk with this to go along. Let's start it. Ian, you got your number 10. I'll go mine. Domino effect from there.
My number 10, I have Star Fox 64. A little bit of a space shooter, kind of the first introduction to Fox and Falco, and I just have such a love for both of them via Smash that it's also just like, I don't know, it was like the first controller space shooter game that I ever played. I didn't play much of it because, born in 96 and by the time I was 5, the N64 was done. So I played, some of the retro games, but yeah, the Star Fox 64 my number 10.
That's interesting, man. I mean, I get it, but I mean, that's a great game. I would think it would have been higher, but I don't hate the pick. My number 10 is one that you talked about a little bit earlier. I think Greg can chime in on a little bit of this if he played it. I'm not sure because Bo was outside. I'm not even gonna go over there. But a lot of the times, it's good to have a person to back you up. And that's the case in this game with my number 10, Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay then. I actually respect this one. I didn't play this one a lot, but yeah, the times that I did, I could respect it.
I mean, it's the sense of you talk about how games now incorporate that, and not even now. One of our beloved franchises that Ian and I played all the time was the Crash Bandicoot franchise.
Right.
And they didn't even incorporate a dual kind of player action until probably, if you want to argue about it, it didn't come out until Crash 3 Warped. But the main part of it came out in Crash Twin Sanity that revolved around this because you could switch back from Crash and Cortex. Just like in this one with Banjo and Kazooie, you could switch to equal opportunity of abilities that could work either way. I love this. I love how it was a very simple concept, just two animals fighting evil. You gotta love that shit. So as good as it is my number 10. So we'll move on. Ian, your number 9.
Yeah, my number 9 will be controversial because I'm sure a lot of people would have this at number 1. My number 9 is Majora's Mask, Legend of Zelda. It is the most, to this day, and will be the most disappointing video game of all time.
Wow.
It is a
saying
side
a lot.
quest simulator. It is not a Zelda timeline game. It is a side quest simulator where you complete shitty dungeons to face really good bosses. And that's it. That's all the game is. And also there's a time mechanic in the game where if you don't finish what you're doing by the time of the 3rd day is over, everything that you've done is gone. And while it is almost impossible to run into that, the fact that that's even in the game is terrible. And again, it is a side quest simulator. You spend more time doing side quests than you do actually playing the game. So
Grind Project is stunned right now.
Stunned. But at
it is my number 9.
Yeah, you did have it on your top 10, so
Only because of notoriety. It will always be my bottom Zelda game. I played probably 15 of the 20. It will always be at the bottom.
Wow.
I get what you're saying, but you don't think the time frame adds a level of kind of competitiveness and competition?
No, you can cut the time you can slow the time down to where it runs to 1/3 of the speed. So no, it doesn't. Like, you can cut the time off and make it run 1/3 of the speed, and then you just have to go and save the game, and then you just play the song again and go back to the first day. Yeah, it doesn't add again, it's a thing where, like, yeah, it's nice for seasoned players, but like, it's just an unnecessary thing that added way too much difficulty. Like, it didn't come up enough to where the difficulty mattered, and if it came up, it was like your whole gameplay didn't mean anything because it was gone.
That would be frustrating.
A little bit. We're gonna add some more controversy here. Because my number 9 is one game that people love to play in party situations. I personally believe that the other ones are better than the original. But my number 9, Greg, is Mario Party. Number 9.
Oh God.
I know it's controversial as fuck.
Oh,
I know.
for sure.
I know.
For sure.
I don't even have it on my list.
Oh shit.
Oh
Okay,
my
so I at least have
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I don't even have it on my list.
Wow. Mario Party is just like any version of Mario Party, honestly, is like is just I'm thrilled with.
So
Yeah.
Greg,
Not happy.
Greg, let me ask you something. Okay.
Okay.
So is it the actual original game of Mario Party that excites you so much?
No,
or is it the idea?
No. Like I said, every Mario Party game I'm happy with. I'm content with. There's no like if you had here's my thing. If you put this at number 9 as like the entire franchise or something like that, maybe I could see the point right here, but I don't know. I personally have Mario Party in general. Any version of it would be top 5 for me just because I love playing it, especially because usually what's involved with it, you're with a lot of your friends. When you're younger, you're with your friends. When you're older, you're playing Drunk Mario Party, which is even more fun. So
And there's so many different mini games in this one
Yeah.
too. So
yeah. It all depends.
I had someone hug a toilet because I fucked them up so bad while playing Mario Party. So I have sentimental reasons for it.
I think Mario Party got great when it hit the GameCube. I think I played Mario Party 3, and again, I'm younger than everyone here, so I think I played Mario Party 3 like after playing Mario Party probably 4 through 7, and was just not. I mean, and that's fair because like the game's older and the mini games aren't as good, the graphics aren't as good. It's just yeah. I mean, I can understand people being upset, but yeah, I don't have it on my list at all. So
Austin, 400 writes in the chat, "Hey Austin, you ever watch the old Mario Brothers movie?"
See, that's weird. I've seen the old Mario Brothers. Like, is he talking? I'm assuming
he's
live
talking.
action.
He's talking Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, the movie.
Okay. So, I've seen it. I don't remember it. I remember watching the old Mario cartoon. That's what I remember.
Yeah, he's referring to the live action one from like the 90s.
Okay, yeah, not as much. I remember seeing it. I just don't remember. all
Sounds
of it.
terrible.
You don't have. All right, I think he was trying to. I think he was trying to get a rise out of you because there's a lot of people that hate that movie, but I think it's a cult classic now. So
He's a big movie guy.
yeah, it's true. He is a huge movie guy.
Shout out to Foreigner. E, you're number 8.
My number 8 is Donkey Kong 64. Sadly, a game I've never played. But I was watching some. It's just another game with like enough notoriety to. This is the first game that I haven't played on the list, so it's just a game where like Donkey Kong is huge, and it's huge for a reason. And Donkey Kong 64, according to the internet, was super innovative for the entire Donkey Kong franchise and Nintendo itself. So, got to give it credit where it's due, even though I've never played it.
I don't remember if it was this one or not, but I remember it might have been the Diddy Kong game, but the main villain of that one was Mario, and that was interesting. Like, he had Donkey Kong locked up in a cage, and I'm pretty sure he did the same thing that Donkey Kong did, was just throw barrels down. So kind of innovative in what they went for with that, but I'm not necessarily sure it was the right direction because, you know, why put the face of Nintendo as your villain? That was kind of...
I'm assuming it was kind of like a role reversal thing because Donkey Kong
they took a
was,
shot.
Yeah,
they took a shot at it, and I, missed, at least in my part, but it could have been different for others. My number 8, one that I remember playing fondly with a good friend of mine way back in the day. It was great for its time, but for some reason it had to be low for me. I just don't know why. Maybe it's because I lost or something or got pissed at it. But my number 8 is GoldenEye 007.
I was hoping this would be on the list. Yeah,
This would be higher for me.
Did you wait a sec? So real quick, Austin, are you a rage quitter?
No, not a lot of the time. I normally only do it with Madden. That I like. If something stupid happens that I know in real life in NFL today it wouldn't happen, I'm just like, no, fuck this. Like, there's no way. Like, for instance, I've had like Calvin Ridley and he got bodied by Josh Norman. I said that's not gonna fucking happen in real life. That's just stupid. Well, I just quit. I'm like, that's stupid. Like, that's not real. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
So not a lot of the time, Greg. A lot of the time I'm really calm, cool, and collected with games, but yeah, and I might have been this way with 007 GoldenEye. I don't know if I was, but I'm sure I was with Madden. But number 8, that's mine.
I got no complaints, Austin. It deserves to be top 10 at least.
It'd be top 5 for me.
Number 7 is Super Smash. I just think Super Smash Melee is the greatest fighting game of all time, and I think it did it so much better. And, that could be just disservicing the original, but I don't think so. I think the original was clunky and it didn't run as smoothly as N64, as some other N64 games. And I don't know if it's nostalgia, but I just feel like people kind of harp on this game more than they should because... And it did pave the way for the greatest fighting game in the history of fighting games. So I'm giving it credit where it's due, but... Yeah, Super Smash at number 7. Also, the character pool is just too small. Way too small.
I think you can see that with it just being the first game that started it all and everything.
Right, but only like I want to say 14. It might even be 12, but it's just way too. I feel like Nintendo had a fair amount of people, even if they were just putting in like shittier, like kind of one-off characters at that point instead of just franchise people. But yeah. That's my number 7.
Yep. Mine comes to us from the year 1997. Once again, like GoldenEye, a first-person shooter. Great multiplayer, great everything that went along with it. I got into it, but not as much as I did the rest of these games, and that's just why it's so low. So I know a lot of people are going to be pissed at this. But my number 7, Perfect Dark.
I vaguely remember this game. I don't think I don't recall playing it, but I like vaguely heard of it though. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's pretty widely rated as like one of the best. The problem with me for it, which also not on my list. The problem with me for it is like I didn't remember it. Like today I was looking up like best Nintendo 64 games, and when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, that game's pretty good, but I didn't remember it, so like I couldn't put it super high on my list or on my list at all. But yeah, I understand it being on someone's list
I
for
think
sure.
the main portion of it that gives it a little bit of credit is the multiplayer option, which you really didn't have a lot of that going with N64 games, but like to have it at least with like first person shooter rather than just your normal Mario games where you're just fighting somebody. Like it's like for this one, you're literally like fighting to the death. So I like the multiplayer aspect of it. Like I said, I do. I'm one of the only ones that like remember actually playing this like way back. Not saying anything bad about it, but like it was a good game and it's right. It had its flaws at some point for very minuscule they were, but great game, and that's why it's my number 7. What do you got for number 6?
My number 6 we can go past pretty quick because we already talked about it. It's Banjo-Kazooie. I think it's just a fun platformer that I think a lot of people, I feel like everyone who played Banjo-Kazooie like still talks about playing Banjo-Kazooie if they talk about like retro games. So I think it holds a lot of ground on a console where there were a lot of great games and a lot of games that got played quite often. So my number 6 is Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, it's funny that we talk about like going fast and everything because my number 6 involves 2 of the speediest characters I would say involved in the Super Smash franchise. You've mentioned it already. My number 6 is Star Fox 64.
Okay. So
there's something about the space aspect of it, man, and just it was great. I mean, I loved the fact that the villain was a giant ape head in space. Was absolutely fucking terrifying. So having this, my love of horror, like I just had to throw that on.
Did it make you not want to go to space?
No. I'm the person, and Ian can attest to this, that brings the DVD of Jaws to the beach. So I'm not necessarily
want to go to space. It had the opposite effect.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, fucking bring it on. Like, I got it. Man, a starship, Elon Musk is my co-pilot. We'll fuck it up. Like, after he's done smoking with Joe Rogan. Like, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good, man.
Forager wants that one higher, a little bit higher.
See, yeah, I was going to say this is a big one for a lot of people. And, I mean, I would say I had it properly ranked. I mean, if you look at the next couple of names on this list, but, like, Star Fox, like Ian said, it was, like, the first kind of, like, space intuition to the N64. And that made it popular, and for a reason why it's my number 6.
It also just like had characters with personality. Like the characters also made you want to play the game. Whereas I feel like even some even like a lot of first-person shooter like space games today don't have that. Like they just have, they care more about like the action. Whereas like people cared about Fox, they cared about Falco and Flippy it's Slippy I think, but my bad. All right, my number 5. Again, I think a game previous did it better. My number 5 is Super Mario 64.
That's fair. This does deserve top 5, I would say.
Because Super Mario World 3 is still the best Mario World Runner game. And
do you think that's a little bit of bias? Do you think that's a little bit of bias?
No, it 100% is.
The ranking talking about bias.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it 100% is still the best. Super Mario 64 though, like it just continued that. I mean, they're still making. I have the newest one for the Switch, so like years and years later, they're still making the world level based Mario games, and Super Mario 64. While I think again, Super Mario World 3 did it better, Super Mario 64 still put on a good show, so I have it at number 5.
All right, that's fair. I'll give that to you. My number 5, you've talked about it already. I think because it gave the pathway to what it was. And I know that's kind of controversy to what I did with Mario Party, but I enjoyed playing in this game. I'm not sure, Ian, if this was available. So if anybody remembers, there was a section of Giant Eagle called the Eagle's Nest.
Yes.
Where you could leave your kids and go shopping, which, that was the greatest feeling as a kid. You're like, fuck, I don't want to go shopping. Like, I want to play video games, and I'll just drop you off. This was one that I always loved playing, and we said it already. It's Super Smash Brothers. I loved playing this game there. It was between this, and they didn't have too much of a selection. I want to make it clear. But it was between this one, and then they had a Power Rangers one that you could, like, be the Megazord and shit and, like, go through. And I was like, destroying buildings is awful. I kind of want to destroy kind of, like, I don't know, fucking people. So I would always, like...
You had
like,
this
hey,
thought when he was little.
What a little
No, I'd be
messed
like,
up
hey,
child you were.
I want him, like, play, like, Super Smash Brothers. And I was like, hey, kid, you want to play? And he's like, yeah. It's like, my name's Declan. All right, fuck you, Declan. Let's go. Like, I would plug in the controller and, like, kick the shit out of him.
What a foul-mouthed bastard
He'd, like,
he was.
not want to play
Damn.
anymore. He'd, like, not want to play.
Foreigner said he never got to go there. That's because he was probably, like, 20 years old.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, yeah.
I don't even think they have it anymore, honestly.
They don't.
No, they don't.
do
Definitely
not.
not.
The Eagle's Nest was a big part of just childhood, because, like, you were going there, you're like, yes.
You're like, can I go?
Yes.
I was like, no, I'm just grabbing one thing. You can't go in there. Just cause a big scene.
Mom, take longer. I know you want to fucking buy more bread and milk. Like, please, goddamn. But yeah, that's my number 5, just for memories and just purpose of how the game was. E, what do you got at number 4?
My number 4 is probably my most biased pick, but I have Spider-Man at number 4. The OG Spider-Man games are still to this day fantastic games. This would actually be higher if it had the cutscenes in it and not the comic book, I guess, cutscenes, but they're so boring and you just click through and read the pages, and they're not even from the real comic books, so, like, why? It's because then they remade it for the PS1 and put cutscenes in it, and it was just so much better. But yeah, the Spider-Man games ran really well on the N64, and I played it a lot as a kid, primarily on the PS1, and then as I got older, played it on the N64 in college. So definitely my number 4. And a lot of people don't even know that there was a Spider-Man game, so they're like, "What the hell is this doing in your top 5?"
Yeah.
Well, it's a great game. So
yeah,
I'll say this because it was the same game, just like made on PS1. The frustration of us not owning a PS1 memory card was so
yeah, you had to beat the
annoying.
game in one day. You just played it.
Yep. I really think it took me about maybe 3 or 4 hours to actually beat the entire, like, PS1 version of it. And the whole aspect of it is great because you think that Venom is going to be the main villain, and it turns out that later in the game he's an ally, and it's just really well done. And I know that Ian would like to put, like, Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro in here if he could.
Yeah,
It
is better.
I personally think the boss fights are a lot better in the first one, but he enjoys, I think, more of the differential, like, I don't know, abilities and shit that you can have, and just, like, the story's a little bit better. But we talked about it before. Electro's just a guy that wants to be made into energy, and that last boss fight is a pain in the ass if you don't know how to do it. So which also, Greg loves Spider-Man. Just throwing that out there. He's got a fun couple tattoos. So.
Yes, I do.
So he'll probably get bonus points for you there. My number 4, going back to the old age, what do you do when you kind of run out of ideas for a set of characters? You fucking make a racing game. I loved this. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. That's what it always fucking is. You run out of ideas, so you're like, well, let's just put them in a racer. My number 4 is Mario Kart.
Or as another popular way to say it, Cario Mart.
This game is amazing, just in many rights. Greg, I know that you've played quite a few rounds of drunk Mario Kart, and
Indeed,
I know
I
that
have.
it's an interesting game because not only is it great for, like, a young kid playing it and everything, or just an adult playing it, but, like, you can play it as a drinking game, which, again, not promoting alcohol on the show, but Coors Light's pretty fucking awesome. But the whole aspect of all of that wrapped into one is by far one of the most amazing things that I can think of. You know, essentially because we've seen it in the Crash Bandicoot franchise too, where they were like, oh, what are we gonna do? Well, let's just make Crash Tag Team Racing and Crash like CTR. Like it's great.
Wasn't there a Nickelodeon one too with all the characters?
Yep,
Yeah.
Nicktoons Racing, yeah.
Yeah.
Had that for Game Boy for a long time. So
Yeah.
One of the greatest Mario Kart games I will never forget is, and I didn't even win, but someone lost right at the last second because they got the blue shell hit at them, and it was one of the greatest. It was one of the greatest meltdowns I've ever seen from someone losing in Mario Kart. It was hilarious.
Was it Naylor?
Alrighty.
Might have been, yeah.
What do you got for number 3?
My number 3, you also talked about it earlier, is GoldenEye.
All right, this is good. This is good.
I think it paved the way more than people want to admit for first-person shooter games that we played today.
Oh, 100%.
I was watching a clip of it today, and the bullet reg on like some of the guns is so bad, but is hilarious. It's honestly like so bad that it's good. The bullet reg, like this, I mean, you can't aim down sights on that game, but the bullet reg is just going back and forth, and it's just killing everyone that's in a straight line for him. So it just like, it's just so funny and also still so good at the same time. It's just one of those games where, you know, you can throw it on, you can play against someone, or you can just play the story mode or play, I believe there's like an arcade mode where you just like play against the computer in like a non-story mode thing. I could be totally wrong. But yeah, I think GoldenEye is what made FPS games move.
I agree with that. I like it at 3. I forget where you had it, Austin. Was it 8?
It was like
7 or
8.
It was at 3. Okay, I was gonna say he froze a little bit, but he's back. All right, I like that. GoldenEye at 3. I'm gonna go my number 3. I love playing this game because I know that anytime we've done it when Derek shows up, I know that anytime Greg or Vo, anytime that I get to know that you guys would show up, I know that you would play this game against me or any of Ian or anybody else. There is not a greater sense of Pokemon than Pokemon Stadium.
Yes.
At number 3.
Yes.
You have, and I know it was awesome because every time, not only I'll get to the mini games in a second, but literally any time that we would fight somebody, the other person had to close their eyes because they wouldn't know what Pokemon that first person was picking, and then vice versa to see like what it would be, and then it would just be great. You're just picking random Pokemon at level 50, and it was just wonderful to see like who had the better Pokemon knowledge, and it was just great. The mini games in itself, whole nother fucking
the mini games are excellent. Yes, I agree.
Oh, nothing was better than just watching someone that's hitting the harden button on a Kakuna or a Metapod and it miss and be like, what the fuck? I just fucking hit it. Or the Lickitung where you would accidentally like eat the green shit and you'd be like, ugh. Like it's
or the Clefairy one where you mess up the line or something like that.
God.
Oh, it's great.
That one still gives me like dilemmas. Like the Clefairy one, just based on memory. I'm like, shit, I can't remember all that, dude. That's my number 3.
Well, my number 2 is Pokemon Stadium.
Let's go!
Yeah, the mini games, I mean, I could name a few off the top. You said the Kakuna Metapod Harden game, Lickitung, Clefairy Says, Run Rattata Run.
Yes.
I mean, the Magikarp Splash one was even fun. They find a way to make Magikarp enjoyable to use. Yeah, I mean, I think that game, like when it came out, probably people were so focused on like, oh my gosh, I get to fight Pokemon all the like I can invite someone over and we can just pick random Pokemon, like Austin said. But the mini games are what made that game. You can pick that up anytime, I feel like, and have a good time, regardless of what you choose to play, the mini games or just Pokemon Battle. But I agree, the mini games are what made Pokemon and are still what made Pokemon Go a great game. To play with friends.
And also the attachment that you could put on the back of your N64 controller to be able to sync up your Game Boy game. So you
Yep.
can like
Yeah.
so you could import your teams from like Pokemon
Mhm.
Yellow, Red, or Blue into the game, which was awesome.
Yep.
Cool.
My number 2 is going to be pretty short and sweet, guys. We talked about it already. Ian had it. Number 2 for me, Super Mario 64.
All right.
It's just a fucking classic. I've seen countless speed runs of this game, and when I watch it, I'm just like, it's like a kid. You're like, you don't think about this shit. You're like, holy fuck, they're going really, really fast just based on what they need to know. Boss level, amazing. Everything else about it, honestly incredible. And my number 2.
All right, for number 1, I want you guys to say your number 1 at the same time. See if they're the same one.
This will probably be interesting.
I'll count it down. Ready?
Okay, wait. Were you on 3 or after 3?
Oh, I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1, and then you go.
Okay.
All right. Right. 3, 2, 1.
Ocarina of Time.
Yep. I didn't know if he was gonna say the Legend of Zelda part before, but yes,
Yeah.
Ocarina of
looks
Time.
like you agree on this one.
Yeah. If we disagree, I mean, honestly, if anybody says that this isn't the greatest N64 game, they are absolutely lying. I know I said some pretty hard. I was pretty harsh on Majora's Mask, but I've realized this week I'm harsh on things that I love, and otherwise I don't care. So I'm not going to put any negative effort because it doesn't matter. Ocarina of Time is borderline perfect. Not only is the main quest super fun, the side quests are minimal and they are also fun. The dungeons in this game, from the 3 mini ones to the 5 large plus Hyrule Castle, are also a lot of fun. Some good bosses. The time travel mechanic and what they were able to do with that in 1998, or is it 96? 96 or 98, either way is pretty incredible. And it still is, I think, the most innovative video game to ever be created. And if you haven't played it, shame on you.
Is this one that you guys played, Greg and Vo?
Honestly,
shame on me.
Yeah, no.
I was outside.
I was outside.
Honestly, I did not play a lot of Zelda. Wasn't really my thing.
Well, according to Ian, you should go play it, Greg. So if you have an
Alright.
N64 around,
I might
get to that.
I might have one of my parents' house. So, N64 games that I loved growing up, and these are just some that weren't listed. Mario Tennis I loved. Pokemon Snap I enjoyed. NFL Blitz.
NFL Blitz.
NFL Blitz was
NFL Blitz 2000, yeah.
Yeah. Ken Griffey Major League Baseball 95, 94, 95, something like that. I can't remember which one. WWF No Mercy.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. WCW NWO Revenge. That's another great one too.
Forges just realized that wasn't on there.
Yeah.
Mario Golf.
I don't think Mario Golf was in 64.
It was.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, the first one was, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember that.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Tony
2.
Hawk Pro Skater, my God. Yeah, that's another
2,
one that should be
yeah.
on there. But yeah, those are just ones off the top of my head that I have. I'll probably think of other ones. But yeah, no, I respect your list, Moorhead. Ian, I respect your list too. So I will say this turned out pretty solid.
Yeah, like it always goes. We'll put these on social. You guys will vote how you want. I'm already assuming I'm gonna lose just based on people not voting.
I don't
for
know.
me.
My Spider-Man might woo some people away.
I do remember that game though. Like the one where I think this isn't the one. I don't know if it's like Venom or Carnage kidnaps Mary Jane or something, and you have to try to get them at the end.
Yeah, it's Mysterio pretending to be Spider-Man at first, and then it's
that's the one.
Doc Ock. It's Doc Ock and Carnage at the
Okay.
end. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I never knew who any of those characters were playing the game, so I was actually wondering like who is the villain. But if you clearly know Marvel, like you're able to tell in like 2 seconds like who the actual villains are of the whole thing. But it was a big reveal to me when I found out it was Doc Ock, who was reformed in the game. So you'd never really suspected him. But yes, both of these lists were wonderful. Again, we'll put these on social and see which one the fans like more to vote for. Ian, once again, thank you for joining us. Do you have anything that you like to plug or anything about any of the Survivor stuff going on from your group?
I guess so. Yeah. Me and some online friends that I love work on Survivor Game Show Network, which you can find us on Facebook. We put together online Survivor games that run either just one day or that run 39 days. We are Survivor Game Show Network on Facebook. We are SGSN. SGSN Survivor on Instagram. We do have Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. But yeah, if you want to become part of the group, just just ask to join on Facebook, and we will definitely accept you in. It's a great community to be a part of. We put out episodes of our games every week on Mondays and Thursdays on YouTube. So yeah, a lot of work goes into it, and I'm still waiting for the Thoughts from the Bench Survivor game. So
see, I want this to happen because I think it'd be good. But if you had to choose right now, I'm gonna exclude myself because I've been in the mini
Austin's
and I've
played. Yeah.
But if you had to choose one Thoughts from the Bench member that you think could win the game right now, who would it be?
Like a cast of Thoughts from the Bench people playing, or just like insert any Thoughts from the Bench person into a normal season and they win? Which one?
A Thoughts from the Bench season. Which one of those individuals could win?
I feel I know I don't know how big like the entire crew is. So I don't, but I feel like you would include like your big fans too, like people that participate all the time. I feel like it's either for me, it's between Vo or Forager. Those would be the two people. That I would pick.
Okay.
Really? Wow.
I feel like all the people that are, but if I was picking someone to just insert into a normal season, it's Derek 100%.
Right. That's what I figured.
Yeah, but Derek, among like you guys, like Derek would never make it to the end. You guys would be like, let's just vote out Derek. I mean, it's the same thing with Austin. It's the same thing with Ben. Like, I feel like it's the people that like everyone knows, but they're not necessarily intimidated right off the bat by specific people. So
okay.
So which comes my next question: who would be? Let's say that Derek's not for this because I know that he would probably be the answer here. But who would be the first person eliminated from the Survivor Thoughts from the Bench group? I have mine, and I'll explain why in a second, but I want to hear yours first.
I'm going to say LSS.
He is fired, unfortunately.
He's already eliminated.
He's fired, so yeah, he doesn't count.
Yeah, I mean, I still consider him to be, yeah. Yeah, I would say LSS. I think my heart honestly wanted to say Ben, but I think he's funny enough that people would keep him around for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, like, if it was going down to who'd be the first eliminated, I say it would be somewhere between Denny and Steph.
Oh, are we including Denny? It's Denny, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Sorry. Yeah, 100%.
So,
Poor Denny.
We love you though. I would say mine is not one of those individuals that were named. I'm gonna say that Dre would be the.
Really?
I thought about
person.
saying him. I thought about saying
As
him
the first
too.
person eliminated.
Yes.
Huh.
Yes. I picture Dre doing something like stupid or even saying like one bad joke, and I remember like, fuck it, vote him off. I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. I would say that like Steph would be like really kind of a game changer player. I think that she would actually last quite a bit, and Denny would gamble his way into a very big hole where I think like he would be like the second person voted out. He'd be like, oh, I'll take you to the end, and he'll say that to everybody, and everybody will be like, well, he just fucking said that, like, let's just vote him off. Like this. Take it from me, it is a lot to go into a game of Survivor. I placed third in the mini that I did and placed fourth in overall in the long game. And damn, those long games hit you. So
you lost a couple years off your life, probably.
Yeah, the ranking has a pretty good track record in online Survivor. So
I get lost in the shuffle and make my way into the end where I get screwed. every single time.
you're
That's
you're
what happens to people who get lost in the shuffle.
you're unappealing. You're unappealing, and then all of a sudden they see you at the end. You're like, oh, I don't want that.
It's just the way it happens. Mike Simmons, you know what you did. Anyway, thank you, Ian, once again for being a part of guest on our show. We love having you. If you want to see more of Ian Moorhead on our show, please let us know. He is a library of knowledge when it comes to random things, and some of the things that people find bad, he finds amazing.
That's a lot of more heads on our show. Might be
Yeah,
one.
I mean,
Might be one more head too many.
I'm also just like available, so I'm usually here on Tuesdays, so timing works out.
We should get rid of one more head and replace it with the other.
There's a new
We
king
love
in town.
all the more. No, fuck. Don't you goddamn say that. Don't never. No. Thank you to everyone who watched our show. Shout out to Coors. Still drinking my beer. Love this beer. We'll continue to drink it on the daily. Especially since I know that somewhere Coors seltzers exist.
They
So
do.
Speedway.
You just gotta find them.
We just gotta find them all. Shout out to Union Fitness Studio for always keeping us in the studio and working on stuff.
Yes.
And shout out to all the people that got subbed tonight. We love you. We love every single one of you. You keep the show going, as this is our now 51st episode. So
Woo! Cross the plateau.
gotta hit 100.
We got to.
That's a new
the
goal.
next goal, yep. We'll get there.
Vo, Greg, always appreciate it. Ian, once again, thank you. Greg, do me a favor. Bang that gavel for me real quick, because court is adjourned.
Court is adjourned.